Hey guys, so I have yet another collaboration for you today, and as you can tell from the title, it is with ArtByKarenEHaley. And I've been watching her videos for so long. I've just been obsessed with her artwork, and I just think she's such a sweet person, so definitely had to accept this collab because I was like, yay, it's Karen. So you guys definitely need to check her out. So there was a quick glimpse of her half at the beginning of the video. You'll see it again shortly, but when I first saw it, I was just in shock. By the way, right now I'm showing these different pictures because I sketched Jessie in my sketchbook and then I had to scan it and print it off at a smaller scale, and then I'm tracing it onto my paper. But yeah, when I pulled out the picture that I got from Karen, I was, oh my god, I was blown away because she does amazing backgrounds and she does amazing work with lighting. And so when I pulled it out, I could see all these different colors. I saw the awesome background and I was just so excited because this is like a coloring exercise for me, because sure, I can watch other people's videos, but that doesn't necessarily make me put things into practice. I tell myself I'm gonna do this one technique, but then when I go to actually make a picture, I fall back into my old habits. But this is almost like a workbook, in my opinion. It's like, okay, here's this half, make my half look like that, and it just forced me to be a little bit more creative and really push my boundaries. So as you can tell, it is Team Rocket and they're in a forest, and when I pulled it out, I had to figure out what was going on in the scene in order to decide what I want to do in my half. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, James is hanging from a tree, he's tied up at the ankle, and then Meowth is on top of him. And initially I thought Meowth was the one who like trapped him or something and he's being mischievous, but then I looked at Meowth and I'm like, no, he looks annoyed. If you look at his face, you can tell he's kind of like, ugh, James, like he's annoyed. And he has his claws out, so he's gonna cut down James. So I know, okay, James got in a trap and Meowth is annoyed, is gonna cut him down. So what am I gonna do with Jessie? So what I ended up doing is she's kind of pleased that he is hanging, and my thought was that they were kind of in an argument when it happened, or she was just annoyed with his antics for the day, and so when he got caught in this trap, she's just thinking, ugh, serves him right kind of thing, so she's enjoying it. I also was considering doing a version where she was frowning, like really annoyed at him for being caught in this trap, but I ended up not going with that one, and there was a glimpse of it when I first showed my sketches before I started inking. So I just kind of went back to my original idea where she's just smiling and kind of just like, huh, sucker, like loser, serves you right. I kind of struggled to place Jessie in the scene initially because there was no background at first. I did do a little mock-up in Photoshop where I drew sort of a tentative background real quick, and because I had, like I said, I did this sketch, then I scanned it, and then I was resizing it in Photoshop, but I had scanned Karen's half of the picture and was placing Jessie in it in Photoshop to try to figure out where I would put her, because James has some perspective going on. He's swinging towards the camera, so I want to position it where she's looking at him, but then she'd have to be looking quite forward, and I couldn't get it to look right, so she's just kind of generally looking to the side at the direction of what's going on. And even after I traced it onto the paper and inked it, I thought I had ruined the picture. I was like, oh my god, Jessie's just like floating in nowhere, she doesn't match up to the rest of the picture, and I felt pretty stressed about it. But then when I actually started sketching in the background using some pencil crayons, that's when I felt more comfortable about it, and I'm like, okay, you know what, she does fit. Now that I actually have a ground and some trees behind her, it actually does work out, so that made me feel a lot better. And if you're wondering what pencils I was using, hold on, let me grab them. Well, I used a variety of pencils in this drawing, but mostly when I was doing the sketches for the background, I used these Staedtler Norris Club erasable pencils. They have little erasers on the end, and they are erasable to a certain extent, but they're not really erasable. You gotta be pretty careful, but I just grabbed those and used them to sketch out the background because, well, I didn't want to do any harsh lines in the background with line art because, you know, the background has to be the background. It's not the main focus of the drawing, and if you add black outlines to the background, it doesn't always look good. Also, I noticed that Karen had outlined stuff using pencil crayon. I don't know if she actually sketched using them, but I know she at least outlined the background elements with the pencils, so I knew it would match if I did it that way. And if you actually look at the Meowth balloon, I didn't outline that in black because I didn't want it to draw our attention. It was kind of one of the main objects. We decided that she would draw Meowth and I would draw the Meowth balloon, but I didn't want to outline in black because I would just draw too much attention. And you don't even see most of the balloon because I just figured it'd be too big. So yeah, I just don't want to be the focus, so don't outline it in black if you don't want it to pop, kind of thing. So I'll talk a little bit about the lighting, I guess. So I could tell that there was a pink light on Meowth and on James. As you can see, it's coming in from screen left. And then I also noticed the use of blues and cooler colors on the right-hand side, kind of blues and also cool purples. So I kept that in mind when coloring things, and I did the same techniques on my trees and everything. Pretty much added a little pink line to most items and then blue on the other side. And oh my gosh, can I just talk about the trees for a second? I know I'm done coloring the trees at this point, but oh gosh, I could not get over how awesome the tree design was. I would never think to do a tree that's all knobby and swirly like that, but it looks so darn good and just makes the picture so interesting. So combine the interesting shape of the trees with the colors. It's just so colorful because there's a bit of yellow tone to it, then you got the pink and the blue mixed with the browns. By the way, I have all the colors I used listed in the video description if you're curious. It just, oh gosh, it just adds that awesome fantasy element to it, and I had a blast doing those trees. It made me so inspired. We also have a lot of good colors in the backgrounds with blues and greens and purples. Then there's the pink flowers. I, by the way, had some troubles color matching. You'll notice that my treetops are not the same green as her treetops. I didn't have a green that was really light yet saturated. I only really have one really light green. It's not even that light, and it's a dull green, so I had a hard time trying to match that, and it didn't. I think the treetops are the worst blended part of the entire picture. The grass I also struggled with because it's a similar shade of green, but what I ended up doing after trying out a couple greens is I actually blended blue and yellow to make a light green. So that's how the background ended up being. And then I used more of the blue towards the background just to give it a bit more depth because I saw Karen did that on her side as well. So I think the grass matched up somewhat okay, although it is a little bit streaky because I did blend the two different colors. But I think the treetops didn't blend out quite as well. But I think overall it was decent, especially considering I didn't have the right colors. The pinks on the flowers don't also quite match. I couldn't find a perfect match for the pinks, but hey, it's good enough, right? Right. One thing that I also really like is the addition of the blue and the pink on the Meowth balloon. It's kind of subtle. I don't think you can see it that well in the video, but I just love how the Meowth balloon turned out. I just like the colors. I like how I didn't outline it in black. It just turned out so good, and I have to give props to Karen for, pushing me to do these techniques, and I'm just like so grateful, and I feel like I learned so much doing this picture. And now I'm just coloring Jessie, and I feel like I've talked a lot about this picture and I haven't talked enough about Karen. So, I mean, I did mention that I've been watching her videos for so long. Her channel is ArtByKarenEHaley. I'll leave a link to it in the video description. It'll actually link you to her half of the collab if you want to go see her do the James and Meowth side. And she just does a lot of speed paint videos. I love listening to her voiceovers. I don't know, I get so excited whenever one of her videos comes out. And she just has I really like her style too. It's kind of cartoony, really illustrative, and like I mentioned, she's amazing with backgrounds and with lighting, and she does a decent amount of Pokemon art, which I love. Just, you gotta check her out. Gotta check her out. She is a Copic goddess, okay? So be sure to check out her channel. I think we're kind of getting to the end here. I'll just be showing a close-up of the picture. I hope I said everything I wanted to say about it and about Karen. yeah, I just loved the colors in this picture. Love how I learned so much from Karen. So go check her out. Here is a nice lovely close-up, and I'll also show a scanned version of it so you can see the colors a bit better because my camera doesn't pick up the colors quite right. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.